Only in friendship. Make it insultingly clear I'm not interested even in friendship. Only friendship. I think well of you, but I don't want to give the wrong idea. If that's understood, I'd be happy to. What? Okay. And let's review the day. So I now need to give 5 pennies to Horatia. And interview people. Craft a story. Good acquaintances. Yep, we now have Mr. Pages, the adorable employer. Oh, God. I want to win. It's hard, but we haven't even flirted much yet. I want to hurt, we've only flirted. Likes to be friends, and we do seem to get along. Okay. Ooh. New ideas. So we have stole contraband, pre-fall, advertised lodging, sought lost beloved, the bizarre, hoarded written word, and new neath changed. Okay. Five days remain in the season of confessions. Another morning, another newspaper. Archie bought one. The headlines read, Theological concerns within the Anglican Communion prompt formation of new synod. That's all we have on that. Okay. Let's recall the past first. I need more information here. Remember the days of the fallen fragments. There are a few moments that I'm always drawn back to, memories that stand for everything else that happened. There are things I sometimes remember for that night that cannot have happened. Impossible things, if I concentrate, I can recall. Archie searches books. Constable Archie checked on us that night. Grace is something about family name. Let's learn more about Archie. Archie's family is in Scotland. Everyone says that only London fell below, but Archie is afraid something happened to them too. I'm surprised at you trying to read in this light, Archie. He held up the volume he was perusing. I thought I remembered there was a bit about the Welsh tornado here, and I was not wrong. Makes an elevating change from your usual reading about Medici poisoners, I supposed. She had caught him a day or so before reading history of toxins over the supper table. This has been the subject of quite a few jests since. What is wrong, pray, with trying for a wee bit of knowledge as a druggist? Sola dosis facit venenum, as the books say. Nothing's a poison unless you give the wrong amount. And for service, Miss Family experimented with drugs. Oh, no more memories. You can only do one of those a day, apparently. Alright, build a story. Now we have an assignment to offer stories about the masters that might shock the ordinary Londoner. Let's see what we can make here. Londoner was gullible and asked no questions. Okay. But for power, to save London, new nations had took unknown actions. Well, you know, they say it said that if you leave an unknown in there, they'll give you options to ask about it. So I can ask about more of Mr. Page's motives. Yeah, let's go ahead and just keep it blank for now. Oh, Page's undecided. Wait, so that's it. So what? What did we just make? Mr. Page had purposes both unknown and unknowable. It took some action, but I'm unsure what. Okay, so yeah, we can offer that story to Archie. That doesn't sound like what he's looking for. It's like he wants to shock the Londoner, saying, "We don't know what's going on." That's not shocking. That whatever. I need to learn more. I need to learn these actions, though. The actions are probably what's going to shock them the most, presumably. Head outside. Okay, so I can go there. Just to get more sense going. There's a penny there. What is? Does that mean I can get work there? Or oh, I can. Yep, because I can flirt with the master. Oh God. Oh, okay. So ask him to show me a route. This is probably like spend money to. Yeah, let's not do that just yet. I want to. Theories of ministry misbehavior. Let's start off by paying Horatio. Like I don't want to get evicted here. She doesn't attend much to what I wear. And indifference no about doubt born of things in all states. It's fine. And taking inventory, yeah. I'm indebted to Horatio. Since the fall, I haven't always had the funds to pay for my room board. She provided for me anyway. If there's anything to eat, I'm always welcome to join the other lodgers. She's never said a word in front of the other guests. Very kind. Ah. Flirt, mention the formation. Okay. Okay, so I guess that the newspaper headline did give me something else to talk about, so do some small talk going into it. Small talk, why not? I recount the newspaper story. The church is working on a doctrinal response to new circumstances. Oh. Many pages of discarded doctrine have been found shredded in sacks in the Lambeth vicinity. A mocking edge. Hell's our neighbor now. I wonder if we're supposed to be good neighbors there, too. Talk about the battle of the church against wrong and suggest you'll be rid of church interference. Ooh. Okay, so basically pro-church or anti-church. That's your options here. Well, earlier I made a decision in order to not be religious, so yeah, let's keep on with that. Just be rid of their interference. See how she thinks about that. Considering she has a cross there, she may not like that, but we'll see. The church will struggle with this, and good riddance to them. Playing this question doesn't matter as much to her as to me. Okay, she doesn't care. Don't mind me. Oddseat says the Besum's neighbors vanished overnight. They've been talking of making a run for it, just striking out north and seeing what they found. Not enough to eat around here, it seems. Hey. I believe I owe you something as a matter of fact. Pass her the coins in a jingling handful. Thank you, you're a kind soul. Done. Discover how much I owe her or brush over that devil. No, let's go in. See how much I owe. I know that can't cover all my previous debts. It would be as much again. The rest will have to wait. Glad to have this. Now finish paying my back rent. There's something I need for dinner if you'd be willing to go. She'll have to tell me her route to the market if I agree to go. Flirtatiously or despite the chilly atmosphere, or laugh as it was. It sounds like she's not really interested in romance. Let's just not flirt. Let's just agree. Might as well. Remages a corner and returns with an assemblage of empty jars. Okay. Get them filled, as many as you can. Oil first, then solids, whatever they've got. Don't let them sell you more than one jar of cricket flour. We can use it, but we don't go through much. As for the purple mushrooms, make sure they're dead. Don't accept the live ones. The Blimmigans. How will I know? If it jumps out of the jar, it's not dead. Yeah, that's usually a good sign, yeah. Of course, none of that's any good if you can't find your way there. I always go to the corner with the red-handled pump, count to 20 and turn left, go straight ahead without looking back. You'll wind up somewhere else entirely if you look back. And you can now go to the market. Hogs Lane Market. Corruption of Hogs Lane, but I keep my pet pig on a leash all the same. I do like the humor in this game. Okay. Just right there. Nice. Okay. Took a long time. Half the stalls are already empty. Half the remaining stalls are not offering anything we'd want. I finished Horace's commission in the end. And I know my way to the market now. Oh, okay. So, yeah, just. Okay. Hey, free trip to the market. Now, this next one, I plan to do some more census taking. So, let's go ahead and get the badge back on. Oh, I can go to Hogside Market. Okay. Census filling shoppers. Shoppers good for sale. Census filling shopkeepers. No. Let's start with the synagogue here, the place I remember from my childhood, the immigrants' quarters and all that. It's hard to guess what effort will best go over in this environment. I'll keep wearing this. It's fine. They peer over my badge. I'm not familiar with that ministry. It's new. We're on our way to services, so this is not a suitable time for ministry business. We'll wait here, Rachel. Or you can stand a bit to the side if you want, wherever you're comfortable. I'll speak with this person. Won't take long. Shouldn't anyway. Strong if unfriendly, or gamble that he shares my sense of humor. Bond over shared difficulty. Let's take a gamble. I go by Morgan. Human at that, born of woman, lived under the sky. You can't say the same, at least break the horrible truth to me gently, will you? David and Rachel Landau. Rachel's my sister. What can we do for you? Establish my authority with the census, or just working with the ministry. So, establish my authority. I have authority here. Try that. I require a census with the ministry census. The truth is essential. I see. I'll answer your question, citizen, if you'll answer mine. Call it character research. Are you having peculiar dreams down here? Archie has patient's complaint. This whole thing's peculiar dream. Yeah, I'll talk about Archie's patients, sure. My housemate is a doctor. Well, almost a doctor. He's being called to see to people with strange dreams constantly. Does he report them back to you, or better yet, does he keep a ledger? He only gives the outlines. He doesn't give away the secrets of his patients. Commendable. Inconvenient. Losing that voice there. Go ahead with your questions, citizen. What do you mean by character research or census information? I'm curious, but gotta get that census information. See if we can't make some more money. And let's ask about the character research. I assume it'll let me do all of it. What did you mean when you said you had a question about character research? I write novels. They are published one chapter at a time in the Lily of London magazine. I was in the midst of one when the fall happened. My publisher insisted that I continue the story despite all. Rachel, are you certain you want to share so much? Does it matter? Surely those precautions are behind us. That's what the story's about, sure. What are you writing about? If you take the Lily of London, citizen, you may have the pleasure of reading my next chapter yourself. Though I confess I'm at a standstill as to what it will contain. My heroine was meant to set off for Paris, and there be reunited with her lost beloved. But as the fall has transpired in fiction as well as in fact, I must resign myself that the courtship is ruined. Hawk show no sympathy. No, let's not do either of those. Let's ask about her inspiration. What inspired the choice of occupation? It was Yom Kippur many years ago. Our family gathered to break the fast, my Landau cousins at one side of the table, my mother on the other. The little Landaus so devout, scandalizing my mother with, she would say, their low manners. separating a bit here. My mother, in turn, scandalizing the Landaus by seeming so almost English, with her lax views on kashrut. Each side unaware of how horribly it was affronting the sensibilities of the other. In such a moment, you either retire to your room or compose a savage Romana a clef. What? Or you throw out the window, lean out, and scream. Those are the only possibilities. Rachel does herself an injustice. She writes with real sympathy. You haven't always described it that way. I simply wish you would draw less extensively from life. Alright, yep, okay, let's get the information about Rachel first, since I've already asked her so many questions. Sour the mood, just ask. Who else lives in your household? Our home contains myself, my brother, and our housekeeper. It isn't a grand establishment. We had another housekeeper for many years, but she passed away, and Phoebe, our servant, had lost her place with a neighbor of ours. Do you have any romantic commitments now? He doesn't have any commitments. In fact, I would go so far as to say he is utterly without prospects. He stays at home and reads. I haven't been well. He warns me of spinsterhood, but he's headed very much in that direction himself. It isn't the same thing at all. I agree it isn't. I have my work to support myself. What's become of your funds since the fall? You'll have to marry if you don't want to end your days as a pauper, brother. I'll rely on you to support me in my falling years, sister. As David is love goes to flirt with who? Am I flirting with David or Rachel? Because that's a very important question that I need to know before flirting. I'll just play it safe. Are you married? In love? Oh, not recently. I was in love once, or so I imagined. Charlotte Carringham, she and David had an understanding. She converted, in any case. Becoming Christian suited her social aspirations. Rachel? Yes, yes, I take leave to dislike your unworthy suitors as heartily as you dislike mine. Milton is a yellow-eyed, flash-dressed, hot-handed creature at least 2 decades too old for my sister. Rumors of devils are frequent in the city. Perhaps Milton is one of them. Probably. I hardly think he and Charlotte are comparable. It's in for more information on Rachel here. Oh dear, the rules of polite society have broken somewhat in the fall, haven't they? Nothing of the sort. He's a devil, or rather he belongs to the group using that name. Milton is an artistic inspiration. If you're not a writer yourself, citizen, you cannot guess how much of the fall has disrupted our sort of work. Characters have certain tastes, certain preferences, certain prejudices. All I need to do is imagine them in new circumstances, and the reactions write themselves. But now, we've all been at least a little cracked by the fall. How does anyone behave? Who can say? You always said you wrote from observation. You can still observe. Since the fall, there is no pattern in what I see. Whoop. Did not mean to scroll wheel that. Okay. It is only home that makes sense to me. I cannot make my whole novel about a brother and sister lighting candles at Shabbat. Ask why not. This is what our art must truly develop. Or hold it. Yeah, let's do that. Art. It sounds as though you must learn to write when it is not easy. The rest of the world must come into it somehow. Milton helped me sort the rest of the world. He can make sense of anything, even a Viscountess running down the street on her peignoir. I'm going to assume that means that's some kind of underwear. It's easy to understand a misbehaving Viscountess. Everything else is stranger. Let me say, citizen, Milton smokes rose-scented cigars. He helps me. I'm not going to take sides. I'm just going to do census information. That page up. Okay, now that I know I'm talking to her, let's flirt. Are you married or otherwise promised? Are you in love? No, I wouldn't say that. Milton is only a friend. Just as well, too. In the times before, you would never have darkened the door of such a person. Let's ask David about his life, which Rachel has already told us is non-existent. His work. What do you do for a living? What line of work are you in? We have money in the funds and interest in several businesses in London and elsewhere. The time was when I used to be very busy in answering letters from Livorno, from Amsterdam. These days, my time is not so extensively occupied. We're expected elsewhere. I'm not feeling well enough for this. You've set loose one or two ideas, for which I certainly owe you something. Produces a card, provides her address and guidance to reach it. Hey! Goodbye, citizen. And she's closed before dinner because, again, I don't want to be wearing the badge. There's quite a few ideas. I don't think any of them is going to apply to the master story. Yeah, let's get rid of the badge. I suppose you've heard the news? Assume that all news is bad news. Ask what happened. Wait till service. Let's assume all news is bad news. What's happened now? Surely London has suffered enough. The Masters have received word from the surface. The rest of the world is all still there. The remains of England, France, all the rest as it was. Only London was abstracted. There are crates and crates of mail from the world above. They're going out to London now as we speak. Yeah, it's joking with the price of stamps. I can only imagine what the price of stamps will be if we're to send letters back to the world above. Perhaps in place of the Queen's head, they'll bear the silhouette of Mr. I suppose it would likely be Mr. Page's. None of the other messages seem especially concerned with epistolary pursuits. Archie, did you hear? Ah, he did at that. So it's true. I mean to get a seat on the next mail coach that goes above. I'm not sure that the mail came by coach, and it certainly did not come by train. Well, however it came, I mean to go back that road. Other ways, tempers expectations, encourages plans. Let's temper the expectations. It's probably not going to be very easy. We might not be able to go back. No one has said how the mail came from above. Well, there's more up to date than there was yesterday, love. Keep that in sight. Look, Mr. Page has sent us all a gift. Pork and apple sausages. And Christmas, love. Thank you, Mr. Pages, for us. I'll make them up for Sunday lunch. Yeah, let's question the masters here. A little suspicious about them here. Right then, I see. We're to be given proper food if we work closely with the masters. Mr. Page said there was only a very little to go around, and he had to bargain with Mr. Hartz for it. At any rate, it isn't a bribe, because he didn't put any conditions on it. He just gave it to us. A bribe doesn't have to have conditions. You can just be like, hey, here, have this, and later on I'll be like, hey, remember my generosity? Like, again, that's very naive of you, Grizz. To be friendly, yes, sure. How many masters are there, then? I have only seen this in his pages for a few of them. Leave a mesmer. No. No. First few days weren't bad. People had food in their pantry still. Old loaves of bread, leftover joints, roots and jams. But nothing new was coming into the markets. No new fish, no vegetables from the farms. Dinner reaches an end. Okay. Review the day in my journal. That's pretty much the same as always, but let's go to acquaintances. Let's see. David Landau, occupation city man. Loved Charlotte before she became Lady Carringham. He's apparently a fan. Or am I a fan of him? Pressured David to be open. Okay. Not much there. See about Rachel. A writer. Lives with David and Phoebe. Might or might not be infatuated with a devil. Distracting antagonist. Okay. And Phoebe, the housekeeper, don't know anything about her. She is a stranger. Okay. 262. 4 days remaining in the season of confessions. For once, I know just what I'll see in the paper. Contact achieved the surface of the Earth. Travel possible via Z route. Mail collected from above. It goes on and on like this. I spent a good part of the morning devouring the pages. There are hardly any pictures. It's too early for illustrations. Nonetheless, the paper's correspondents paint a vivid picture of the perilous travel back to the environs of Italy. Let's recall the past once more. See what more we can learn about that. Hospital Harjit, Grizz, and a bit of Mirror. You learn more about the Constable, learn more about Grizz. No, let's see what's in the mirror. Not my reflection. Mongolian woman. She sat at a desk in a flooding palace, and the milky water had come level with her knee. She wrote in haste, her hands gory with ink, ink-stained and dimmed the firebirds embroidered on her sleeve. The glimpse of me goaded her. The ink bottle upset, blue-black, bloomed in the floodwater. Okay. Very interesting. Let's build a story. I assume that none of what I picked up earlier applies to here, and I am right. What do I want to do today? Do I want to visit the Landos townhouse? Do I want to I can turn in the page with at the bazaar. This just informs while Grizz is absent. You know what? Let's discuss theories of ministry misbehavior with. Here's for Archie. Here's for Archie. Let's go with Grizz. Act as an air of authority, valuable when it comes to Grizz. Ooh. Well, not airbound official business, so don't wear the ministry badge. But yeah, let's just go with this. I thought you might still be in the house. Mr. Pages is not an early riser. In fact, he was very put out when I came to the ministry in the morning. The prickling hide my attraction. Now, let's just. Well. Yeah, screw it. Let's flirt. We were destined to meet. If London hadn't fallen, we would have met on the surface instead. I'm sure of it. It had to be. Excuse me, looks you must have learned for summoning suitors from across a crowded ballroom. No one speaks for a moment. You haven't taken any census materials, Mr. Pages, in some time. It's been 2 days. 1 day, technically. Or whatever. Anyway, he's been asking me about you. Where you are, why you're inactive, whether you might in fact be plotting against the ministry. Mr. Page is getting very concerned about whether we'll have enough stories of love. Can I? Oh, of course, stories of love. I've met a writer. That'll work. I can assist with this. Let me make the necessary introductions. What she needs is a visit to Landau's townhouse when Rachel is at home. Then I'll expect you to do that, and soon. Here's question Mr. Page's intentions. What do you think Mr. Page's intends for London? What is it doing? What does it want? It's trying to save us from disaster. We would have starved without the masters. There's no way we could have found enough food to feed everyone. That's a bit naive. Out of the goodness of its heart, there's nothing else it wants from London. Was it really trying to get out of the census? People worry because they're cloaked and because their rules can be a trifle peculiar. There are times I've wondered about Mr. Page's intent myself, but there's always turned out to be a good reason. For instance, I didn't quite understand why they waited so long after the fall to begin distributing stores. But I hadn't thought. But it's not all so easy to distribute so many things through so many parts of London. Frankly, ridiculous on my part to not to have realized. I'd never ask that question now. In any case, it does want something in exchange, but it's hardly any cost to us. Just stories of love and devotion, whatever form they take. Through the census or in other ways. Personal matters, things we still don't know about one another. If you could be rid of one danger from all the dangers the Neath holds, which would you strike out? I fear nothing. Or one trouble removed would introduce another, or the danger of melancholia. One trouble removed would introduce another. Yeah, that is an excellent question. I mean, one trouble removed would introduce another, but you just solve that one, and then the next never-ending string of troubles. But Things will get slightly better with each solution, so I don't think that's a good answer. I'll say the danger of melancholia. It's the gloom that gets at me. You're too much like Archie. Kiss, family, childhood. Let's ask about the childhood. Too early for that. She tells me about a life child, about the estate where she grew up, the horses, and the tenant farmers. Then the railway came, a loud, dirty thing that ran too close to their land for her mother's tastes. That bred arguments in the household, with her uncle staunchly supporting the advance of progress. It's hard to tell from the story exactly how old Grizz was when this happened. In her narrative, it sounds sometimes as though she was a child listening at keyholes, and sometimes a girl almost out of the schoolroom, who had no patience for anything her mother might ever say. But somewhere in that compound of memories is the source of Grizz the politician, or Grizz the civil servant. Don't elope with any of your senses fillers. It would be dreadfully awkward. Encourage. No, it would invalidate their form. Completely unacceptable. I'm glad you came out of your attic at last. Chapman's wasn't the same without you. Right, collected love stories. Okay, so I assume that's an action I can add to this. Student of the Heart. Okay. I'm not sure what. Well, I'm not entirely certain what motive. Let's try Hope for Power. See if that gives anything. No. I'm really just gonna cycle through all of this and see what pops up. Nothing at all. Okay. So keep that unknown so I can ask people about it. And yeah, just save an exit for now. And you know, I think I'll go ahead and do the thing where you just introduce Grizz to Rachel. Get that out of the way immediately. Or should I turn in the census forms? Let's do the introductions. Okay, so no hints there, but I mean, I'm not there on official ministry business, so yeah, let's just keep the corsage on there, and I'm satisfied with this. Miss Landau, may I introduce my friend, Miss Griselda. Grizz. She heard about your writing and asked for an introduction. Oh, do you read my work, Grizz? I never read novels. I have more pressing demands on my time. Then I don't understand why you've come. Tactfully explain, rudely explain. She needs stories to feed into the maw. Let's tactfully. I will explain it. Yeah. Grizz has an avid reader in need of supply. We thought they might particularly appreciate your gifts. How kind of you. My employer would like to pay you to produce stories more quickly. My hands only go so fast. We could provide a secretary, supplies. I'm not sure what a person in your situation might need. I can see that. How do you spend your time then? Attending social events until something inspires a return to my desk. Some muses inspire. Mine exasperates. Ugh. But those activities produce what? A list of incidents, alphabetical to be included in the coming chapters? Characters. Today, a woman creeping backwards into government. No, I have my eyes front, trust me. She's tried to discard her society accent, but she wears gold links in her cuffs. not visible on this screen, apparently. I didn't come to be a literary model. If you want me to write more, it's the best thing you could have done. London's circulating libraries and magazines hold tales by the thousand. Your masters commandeer whatever they wish. I don't understand your difficulty. No option to stay neutral here, then I will defend Rachel. Agrees Rachel. You are not the only one to ask such questions. Their intentions are hard to read. We've brought books by the wheelbarrow, new and old. Our reader, and there is one particular reader, has rejected everything Pages has brought to him. You'll pay for every chapter on the love of Neath-dwelling Londoners. My compatriot Morgan will help you. Yes, I will. If you can tell me what you require. I need a plot about how my heroine recovers from her betrothal to someone left behind on the surface. Just the skeleton of how it happens, I can do the rest. If you could contrive a way for her to end the business, that would be very welcome. All of my thoughts have proven insipid. I have a new story crafting thing to do, I guess. We only want the tales. And the Neath's heart's blood. I accept if that only means taking an extra payment for work I already do. I promise nothing. You've allowed us to provide a certain incentive. Okay, thoughtful walk home. Grace is silent with her thoughts. If she had any turn for politics, what a politician she would make. Although, of course, they'd never swear her in. But imagine her speeches. Oh, and so here's where I can play matchmaker, apparently. No, I think I'll be having Rachel for myself. Try to go along that. Meaning you admire her profile abstractly? No. Think of having her carved as a cameo, perhaps. Not exactly. An intrigue. Sure, yeah, let's ask. If I ask, do you have feelings for Rachel? There's nothing to tell, I believe. If she should say anything about her feelings, please tell me. Let's go straight to the table. Did you see that woman? The one that came yesterday asking for doctoring? Aye, what should it be but nightmares again? Am I having odd dreams? I guess this is me saying that yes, I do have odd dreams now. Okay, cool. Let's do that, sure. Poor lady. I don't sleep well under a rock roof either. I don't think anyone sleeps well down here. Could you do anything, love? I've only a dram of laudanum left, and no more for a few days. There's fuel enough for the moment if you need to start a new tincture. There's so much else I've been brewing up, so to say, but in case it did not work, a lump of wrapped in paper or leaves, just long enough. Opium. Goodness! Well, wherever you got it, don't let anyone see it before you've had a chance to use it. Silence falls. I have a confession. I saw an enormous tentacle in the basement not so long ago. I didn't tell you and the others because I thought it might put you off the house. And it didn't seem a great danger. That is, it wasn't doing anything. Other than stealing the odd supplies now and then. Seemed a lazy thing, really. Grew a bit fond. Now I hear tell there's been a man made of tentacle seen, bold as brass. Heard it from few sources beyond Miss Besum's witterings. Lurking in the dark where the caves have opened on the south bank. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with all these tentacles. Look, as your landlady, I have to give notice if it takes over another room. But I'm glad to know it's worrying you too. Makes me feel a bit less like I'm losing the plot. A couple of neighbors have mentioned a sinkhhole when they've stopped by for tea. Caves below the streets by the south bank. Movement in the depths, coils slithering in the gaslights. It was not just us, it seems. These are ways of finding new tenants. Assume she wants me to go there, express it that there's a connection. I assume she wants me to go there. That's probably a safe bet. And you want me to go down there and see if there's a connection? Well, not at the expense of your own safety. I still have bills to pay after all. Even in all this, the utilities must be kept up. But I'd like to know as much as I can, and you're more at liberty than me. I don't know that there's a connection between our basement and these caves. But best be on your guard. Trouble comes from below down here. Okay. If anyone knows the way to plate, it'll be Harjeet. No, I'm not gonna leave a mess. Stop asking. Maybe if when I'm doing the high society playthrough, maybe then I'll do it, but not now. They got hungry. People turned inventive. All the pigeons around St. Paul's they caught plucked. More than one society lapdog was turned to stew. Oh. There are no more mushrooms on my plate. Feed the day. Okay. And no new acquaintances. I haven't really met anyone new, but something may have updated with adorable informant. With in her heart, it doesn't mean that I stopped supporting Mr. Pages. Oh, it doesn't help that I stopped. Oh. So basically, I think she has feelings for me, and then I irritated her. Yeah. Yep. Oh, Rachel. Nothing new there? Okay. Time is it? Yeah, I probably got time for maybe one more day before I have to close things off for now. Let's go ahead and circumstance beneath London.